Over a year ago, I started a weight loss journey that ended up being my most successful and longest run ever. I ended up losing 30 pounds, and many of my reasons for wanting to lose weight were resolved. I think these shorts were from 2 summers ago. I don't really remember them. Oh, maybe. Not quite. Not yet. So I'm gonna try this little set again. I think it fits. Okay. Yes! But I fell back into some old bad habits, and now I've gained back everything and more. I've been working on my weight loss again the last few months, and although I've lost 10 pounds, I've really been struggling the past week. Not only did I have social meals, but I overate at home too. What I need right now, more than anything, is to finally forgive myself and move forward. Easier said than done, right? Forgiveness is really hard. Forgiveness can be very tricky, and I think many people consider it to be a character trait, something that you can't change. Either you're forgiving or you're going to be forgiving of the situation because that's who you are, or you just won't and you will never forgive. However, I would like to challenge that thinking and propose forgiveness as a muscle to be exercised, something to work, and something that can be achieved through a little bit of deeper thought. So let's go exploring. First of all, I would be willing to bet that you have forgiven people for things that they have done to you before. Or you've forgiven yourself for a way that you may have made a mistake in the past. Something that's not even related to weight loss. A question to ask yourself from here is, why aren't you granting yourself that same grace and patience from those other situations to yourself in this weight loss realm? And I have a quote to go along with this. Forgiveness has nothing to do with absolving a criminal of his crime. It has everything to do with relieving oneself of the burden of being a victim, letting go of the pain and transforming oneself from victim to survivor. What happened to you or what you've done to yourself can still be wrong while you still forgive yourself for that. They are not mutually exclusive. And I love how this quote puts the attention on the person instead of the thing that happened. And it even acknowledges the thing that happened was wrong. It was wrong of me to throw away everything that I had worked for. It was wrong of me to stop when I did. It was wrong of me to slide back into those bad habits knowing that that was what was happening and doing nothing about it. That was wrong. I should not have done that. But I can't remain a victim to myself or a victim to my bad habits. I'm going to be a survivor of these circumstances, a survivor of myself. This story, this redemption arc, is not focusing on what I did. It's focusing on who I'm becoming now and how I'm going to be better because of it. Secondly, in case anyone forgot, weight loss is extremely, extremely hard. Even though it takes you just an instance to see the difference in a before and after photo, that work took months. It could have taken years, and it took a ton of mistakes. There is no such thing as a perfect weight loss journey. Everybody will go through something unexpected during their weight loss journey. That's just the course of life. Everyone you see online, all of those motivational posters, all of those motivational before and afters and body transformations, they made their mistakes. They had their hiccups and they had to get through it. And not to minimize their accomplishment, but honestly, there's nothing so drastically different in willpower or character or whatever it may be that you think sets them apart from you. Because to be honest, weight loss is always hard for everybody. And as you're doing this very difficult thing, it is so important to not get too caught up in when you fall. And that leads me into point number 3, which is you need to think about this pragmatically. Ask yourself, what good does dwelling on this do? What risks are associated with staying stuck in this mindset that you can't change, that you don't forgive yourself for gaining weight or even regaining weight? Chances are, if you stay stuck in that mindset, you're never going to accomplish what you wanted to accomplish. And another thing to compare this to that might be a little bit easier to understand outside of weight loss is school. Like, say for example, you fail a quiz. If you fail one quiz, you fail the first quiz of the semester, what would it do if you just stopped studying? What would it do for you if you just stopped trying because you failed one quiz? Quitting is never the lesson to take away from failure. It just means that something wasn't working. So with weight loss, what were you doing that wasn't sustainable? Why did you go back into those old habits? Was there something that you never addressed? The fourth point, or something to ask yourself, is, are you blowing this out of proportion? Although it feels like such a heavy hit to have a social meal where you know you overate, or to overeat in the nighttime and you just know it's not going to be good. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that everything is over because it was the most recent thing that you did. But if you looked back at your food log, or you looked back at how many different exercises you've done, how long you've been tracking your calories, you will see that you have a history of doing it right. You have evidence right there in front of you that you can do this. At the end of the day, what does a weekend matter if you have weeks worth of evidence that you can do this, that you can pull this off? Something that I mentioned in my overeating video, which unfortunately got age restricted. Funny how that happened, because I have read the policy front and back and no, I did not violate anything, but I digress. Something that I mentioned in there, which I wish could have reached more people, is a simple way to reframe your thinking when it comes to how much you actually overate. So say every single day you've been eating in a 500 calorie deficit. That means that you should lose about a pound a week. If your goal was a 500 calorie deficit, and then on the day that you overate by 500 calories from your goal, now you're just at maintenance. So it's no harm done. You didn't gain weight, you didn't lose weight, but you're just right at the same. And do you know how much that's going to delay the date that you reach your goal weight? One day. Let's go even wilder. Let's say you overate by 1,000 calories when your goal was usually a 500 calorie deficit. That extra 1,000 calories is only going to delay you reaching your goal weight by 2 days. That's 48 hours. Who cares? Don't blow it out of proportion. There is always another chance for you. There is always going to be an opportunity for you to get right back up. My fifth piece of advice is to put your biggest goal on resiliency. If you're like me and you have an issue with going on and off a diet, or slipping up just the littlest bit and feeling like everything is over because of it, I would highly recommend that you make your top goal be your resiliency. Put all your effort, all your focus into not letting the smallest slip become a huge landslide back into bad habits. And it works just like that. This focus on resiliency has been a total game changer for me. The more you focus on your approach, the better your outcomes will be. It sounds counterintuitive, but the less you focus on the outcomes, the less you focus on the number on the scale and how much it's dropping each week, but the more you focus on your approach, the better the outcomes will end up being because of it. So even if one week I end up gaining a pound or two because I overate, because it's water weight, because of whatever reason, and I didn't make the best decisions, the fact that I focused on my resiliency and got right back up and right back into it is the win. That is the win. And it takes every time that you might mess up, that you might have your hiccup, have your mistake, have the inevitable failure on this long, long journey, it turns all of those into opportunities to prove to yourself that you are in this for the long run and you're not going to back down. Any slip up is now an opportunity to show yourself who you're becoming. If you continue to practice resiliency instead of quitting, then you will never fail. Another quote for you. Forgiveness does not change the past, but it does change the future. Honestly, how could you ever be enthusiastic and optimistic about the future if you think that you will only ever mess up? This is why forgiving your mistakes is so important. You deserve to be enthusiastic about the life that you're going to lead. You deserve to be happy to wake up in the morning, and you deserve to chase the lifestyle that you know you deserve. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being ambitious. Be a survivor of your circumstance, forgive yourself, and move forward. And finally, to forgive is to refuse to contaminate the future with the errors of the past. Thank you for watching this video, and if you haven't already, please consider leaving a like and subscribing.